are live, okay, and I'll be following along on the chat just to see if there's any questions there. Don't
Okay,
worry,
so yeah.
guys. And yeah, it looks like it's 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining us during this amazing event today. We are hosting our third AMA. This is the AMA for May. Very cool. It rhymes, right? Thank you very much for joining us. Just a few things to get everyone going here. Just a few house rules. Again, this is a event for us to learn about the game. So please respect everyone's opinion. Also, just have fun and yeah, stay cool. So my name is Laudy. I'm the community manager for Cryptopia. So I just want to go ahead and introduce the panel. So we got here our Chieftopia, Sangho Grolleman. He's gonna talk. He's our CEO. We got here our founder and lead developer Frank Bonnet. He's just around here hanging out with us. He's busy doing a lot of coding for Cryptopia, so he's just listening in right now. And we also have Hans, who's gonna talk about something very important that happened this last few days with us. We also have our special guests from Vietnam. So I hope you guys are listening in and welcome to Cryptopia. Thank you very much for joining. So yeah, let's get started. You know what?
Yeah, Laudy, don't forget John and Tuan and Div,
Oh
also from the
yes,
team.
yes. John and Tuan
Very
are on
important.
the line right now, and they're listening in as well. Thank you very much for the moderators too for joining in. Tuan, I
Yes.
think you're there. Okay, great. So yeah, thank you very much. We're all complete. Let's get started with the event. So, you know what? These past few months, there has been a significant growth for Cryptopia, and we couldn't achieve that without you guys' help. You know, with you talking to your friends, sharing our posts. So we all lit up to you. So thank you very much. And to provide you with an exact number, Cryptopia's popularity, if you could call it that way, right, has grown by 824%. 824% across the board. That is a significant
Wow.
growth. We have like a we're over 5,000 likes now on Facebook, and our Discord is now nearing 6K. Just a few months ago, we only had less than 1,000. We are really growing, and for that, we really would like to thank you for allowing us to grow with you, for allowing us to spread our wings, so to speak, right? So, yeah, a lot of things happened. Our friends from YGG and Sando joined us. We met a lot of people during the event that we had in Daxio. Our Vietnamese friends are joining in now. We now have a Vietnamese channel in our Discord, and it has been nothing but spectacular how Cryptopia has grown in such a short span of time. And so right now to talk a little bit about our trip in Daxio, we got here Hans. He is our co-founder, and he would like to go ahead and share with you our experience in Phuket, Thailand.
Yeah, thank you, Laudy. Well, I guess everyone who follows a little bit the socials is aware that we went to Phuket. I think we posted. Yes, it was a wonderful trip, and we were very honored to get invited by the Daxio family. It gave us a chance to tell everything about Cryptopia to to all the members, and we mingled, and we got a lot of very good contacts. The presentation we could give was very nice. People loved it. Actually, it was a wonderful weekend, and I hope very soon we can do a new event, and then maybe with even more people. So yeah, again, thanks to Daxio to let us join the event.
Absolutely. And you know what? Um, it's one thing for me and for the rest of the team to talk to you guys via Discord and share stories about how you were able to mint, how really excited you are for Cryptopia and stuff. But to actually see these people, and talk to them, share stories with them, really get to mingle with them, it's really a surreal experience because you actually get to see the people that are supporting the game. And that for me is one thing that no one can take away because I saw firsthand how people, elderly people, young people, women, men, boys, girls, everyone was so excited for Cryptopia. It was a wonderful and successful event, and we thank you guys for supporting us all throughout that. And so right now, speaking of support, we have here our CEO, Sangho Grolleman. He's our Chief Topia. He will be providing you with more information about game economy, and he's a very experienced. He went to a lot of events, a lot of conventions that talked about NFTs and crypto. So he'll be more than happy to share with you his knowledge today. Take it away, Chief Topia. Take it away,
All right.
Chieftopia.
So yeah, I was muted. So first of all, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, Laudi. Thank you for the introduction, and to the audience, thank you very much for joining today. I'm very happy that you can make time in your busy schedules and listen to us what we have to tell about the game. Laudi, I have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So you are allowed to be rude and cut me off if I take too long, because I'm really excited about the topic and I can be carried away and talk too much. So, let's start about it. First of all, a brief history about game economics, how I sort of came into or came in touch with game economics, and of course my first experience was from playing games myself. And at first I was not aware of game economics at all. I just wanted to play a game. I wanted to buy stuff in the game or sell stuff in the game to upgrade items and to get better, to progress in the game. And then later, when I started playing the more strategic games like Civilization, I got more confronted with the economy side of the game, because it's all about the supply chain. It's all about getting stuff from the ground, or build stuff and sell it, or build stuff and use it to progress in the game. But when I really started to understand or see the beauty of the game economics was when I started playing online games around 2003. I'm a diehard Guild Wars player, Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. And I was flabbergasted, because you could not only trade with the computer, like the NPCs, but you could trade with other players, and you could use an auction house and a marketplace and stuff like that. So it was completely new to me, and I really, really loved it. And I like to dive into a game and really understand and learn all the aspects. So with the MMOs, with the multiplayer online games, there's always an element of crafting, a functionality of crafting, so you can create stuff. And when you have an economy, an in-game economy, it's always a good question: are you going to craft it yourself, or is it maybe more efficient in time and money and resources, in-game money, to buy it from another person or to buy it from the game? So crafting by nature makes you think about the economy. Is it worth making it yourself, or is it cheaper to do it by another means? Then came, around that time, a couple of years later, came the free-to-play element into the traditional gaming world. And for the people that are not really familiar with free-to-play, basically it means you're allowed to play the game, but if you really want to get the most out of it, or if you want to progress at a decent speed, you have to pay, or you can pay and upgrade the game. and you can buy a lot of things like expansion on the map, or travel skills, or a larger bag, so you don't have to run back and forth to empty your bag. You name it, you got it. So the game's really invented a lot of things that you could buy or upgrade. By the way, I'm writing a blog about free-to-play and the rise of free-to-play, so if you are interested, follow me on Twitter and you'll see the notification pretty soon. But why I want to tell about this is with the free-to-play model, the game's introduced a multiple currency system, so to say. So you have the basic currency that is like gold or silver that is dropped by monsters, or you get as a reward when you do a quest, when you sell materials to the NPCs. But there's also another currency, and that is for special items only. So that's like a gem or a star or VIP points. And these are not available by playing through the game. So you can only get these currencies by paying with real money. And of course, if you pay, you get access to the more advanced items or the nicer cosmetics and stuff like that. So that's how the free-to-play model works. There's a large number of people that play for free, and there's a really tiny part that is paying. Well, today there's an extra addition to game economics, and that's of course the play to earn or play and earn or whatever you call it. It's the blockchain technology allowing you to play a game and earn real crypto, or at least own your asset. And that is, in my opinion, the most interesting development at the moment. So you can now own your game assets, and you can do whatever you want within the game or outside the game. So that's how I got in touch with game economics. And the basic of game economics, maybe it's good to also explain that to you. A game economics is everything that is related to the game reward structure. So when you play a game, you want to achieve something, you want to progress. You can earn experience points, gold or other currencies, skill points, resources, well, you name it, a game has it and you can earn it. And it's very important for a game to have all these flows, all these gaming flows and loops connected in a balanced way. Otherwise people won't play your game anymore. They think it's unfair or they cannot progress. To give a simple example, let's say there's a game and you can be level 5 in 3 days. So you have to play 3 days, and the game is designed that you have level 5 at that point. And when you're level 5, you are able to buy a house. And this house, let's say, costs 1 million gold. So you get to level 5 on day 3, and then you look at your wallet and you only accumulated 100 gold. So you can buy a house for 1 million gold, but you only have 100 gold. So that's not really a good game economy, right? So you have to somehow accumulate a lot of gold in order to buy that house that you're able to because you're level 5. Or the other way around, let's say you are level 5 and you look into your wallet and you have 10 billion gold, so you can buy many houses. That's also not a good balance in the game, because it's too easy for you to attain an item. Another example of the game economy is like you need 100 stone. So you need to mine 100 stone to build a house. But you cannot mine it because you're level 5, and the mines with stone are only in areas where you can go when you're level 10. So these are really simplified examples, but it shows that you really need to think through all your flows in your games, in your game loops. Then, as I explained in my first part, there are the free-to-play / premium games. Freemium, it's also called like that. And there the game economy has another stream, and that's the stream of revenue for the publisher. So for, let's say for Cryptopia, for us, for the team, we create a game and we also need to earn revenue in order to run the game. Before the free-to-play area, a game developer just sold the game, so you bought the game or you downloaded the game. And in theory, you could buy a game and never play it, and still that studio or the game developer, of course, earned their money because you bought it. But with free-to-play, it's different. With the free-to-play, people really need to have you engaged. So they need to keep you playing and engaged, so you have fun in the game and you are stimulated to do small transactions like the microtransactions, and in order to do that, they really need to do their best to make you spend, right? And the fun fact is, they don't need everyone to spend. It's only a small percentage, and it depends a bit on the game, but it ranges from 0.5% in certain games to 10% of the total gaming population that is spending money, so that is doing microtransactions. So it's only a small part of the population, a small part of the gamers that is really spending. Now, what's going to happen now, and that's really interesting for me, and also for you, I think, about the future of the game economics and the possibilities of the blockchain at a whole new level. As I explained, you can now own your assets and you can do whatever you like. And just like the microtransactions in the traditional gaming, it changed really the industry. It's also going to change the gaming industry with the blockchain game. And at the basic level, nothing changes because you need to have a good balance into your game, gaming loops and flows. If it's not there, your game probably gonna fail. The interesting part about the play to earn is that the motivation of the players got extra dimensions. You have players that play for fun, and you have players that play to earn. Players can have different roles, so a player can be also an investor with completely different motivations. So, like you are the early adopters of our game, and you have invested probably, or I hope you have, in early access ships. So you are also an investor in our game, like a seed investor. Thank you very much for that, by the way. We're very happy, as Laudi already explained, and Hans. We need you, and we are very happy that you put your trust in us at this stage in our game. And there's no right or wrong here. You could also be an investor that is not interested in the long term, but only want to make a flip. Well, it's possible. And it's not bad. Those people are also helping us. But this will also, why am I telling this? This will also have implications for the game economics, because the objectives of the players differ now, and the game loops and flows need to reflect these. It gets more complicated to create a sustainable balance because of the earn component, or the investment component. And I believe we saw this already with some play-to-earn games. They lack gameplay or means for new players to enter. So having to buy an NFT for $1,000 in order to start earning a token, a game token that is worth less than a cent, that's not a healthy balance, right? Because people won't do it. It's the barrier to entry is too high, or it's too uncertain whether they will recover their investment. So the future of the game economics, if anything, I think game economics will get more complicated in the future, and game developers need to work harder to get a healthy balance. So I believe that the quality of the games will go up. That there are many games that will fail because of the quality is not high enough, and the game economy is not thought through well enough. Well, you're all here for Cryptopia, so let's talk about Cryptopia for a minute. Laudi asked me a couple of questions to talk about, so that's what I'm addressing now. And one of the questions is explain how Cryptopia plays a role in the advancement of game economics. Now, in my opinion, and Frank and Hans and the rest of the team, correct me if I'm wrong, Cryptopia will absolutely contribute to the advancement of the game economics in general, and especially for the blockchain, the play to earn or play and earn genre. And I have a couple of points why I think this will be the case. And first and foremost, we will add human labor to the resource pool. And it sounds a bit fuzzy maybe, but we will add the human labor, the in-game human labor, so your avatar can go somewhere and provide labor, and we will add it into the supply chains. And in other games, you also need to cooperate for missions or quests or raids, so you need other players, even at large scale, like server to server or world to world battles. But now you need other players at a basic level in the supply chain, in your game flow, and that is really, really unique. And while doing so, we create a sort of a virtual economy for skills. So players that want to contribute to the game will need to maintain a certain reputation, because if your reputation is good, you probably, or your chances that you're hired or that your skills are recruited are better. So think of it like a sort of a Fiverr or Upwork. Doing a good job in the game will get you rewarded at the end. Another point why I think our game is contributing to the advancement of game economics is that we allow you to pool resources. So you can go public. So if you don't have enough funds to buy an asset, you can say, okay, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to issue shares, and together we're going to buy that asset. This is really unique for a game. And this implies that you can share assets, and that's another point. We allow in our game that players can share assets the way they like. So you can co-own an asset, like issuing a share, or maybe with your family. You don't have to issue shares, but you pool your resources and you buy it together as players. Or you can lend it. So I have an asset and I don't have the time, or I like you, and I say, oh, you know what? You can play with my asset or with my NFT, and we split the revenue, if there's revenue, like 50-50 or 40-60% distribution, up to you. Then what we also have in our economy is a tax system. Cryptopia is no tax haven, so sorry if you want to evade taxation. Everyone will contribute in Cryptopia. So there will be a small tax on transactions, and this small tax will flow back into the treasury of Cryptopia. So the treasury is a bit of a container word, but what I mean is it will flow back into the game, and it will be used as a reward for other players later on. So players help or fund is not really the good word, but fuel the other players. Then we also have public services in our game, and these have a similar mechanism. So for instance, there's a notary or there's a court, and players pay a fee for these services, and a portion of these fees flow back into the game, into the treasury. And lastly, because I'm running out of time, we have a gas system. We have a blockchain game, so the whole game state is on the blockchain, and whenever we need to read or write, there will be a transaction, and for that transaction you need a small amount of gas. Like on Ether, you have the GUI, and you all know, because you all in NFTs probably, gas can be a huge pain in the in the behind, because it's sometimes too expensive to do a small transaction. We believe we have a very nice system, and that is by deducting a very small percentage of your transaction, of your quest reward, and that small percentage will flow into your gas account. So you never have to bother or think about, do I have enough gas? How much gas do I have? You always have enough gas to play, and you fuel yourself by playing. Loudy, I guess I'm over my time already. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay. We really learned a lot in that short span of time. Thank you very much. We do have some questions prepared for you from
Good.
the questionnaires that we sent out our community. So one of the questions there was, will there be a price for CRT soon? How are we going to regulate the market value of the CRT? Are we going to be able to stake outside of the game once CRT tokens receive its market value?
That's a good question. Well, the price of CRT will be determined ultimately by supply and demand. And there's no CRT now, so when we sell it, we determine the price of CRT at the beginning. So currently we have a private sale, and we sell at 0.0025 cent. But there's not really a place now to transact, right? So the private investors, well, first of all, and that's important to say, they have a vesting scheme, so they cannot dump our tokens. So they get into our game, they invest into our game, and over a period of 24 months, they get a small batch, 5%, I believe, of their tokens. And then we will have a public sale, and that's after the private sale, and after we run the open beta for a little while, so we know it's stable, and that the price of that token will be 0.01 US dollar cent. and then more people outside of the private investment will have their tokens, and it's up to them what they do with it. So we will, for sure, in our game when it runs on the mainnet, we will allow or give you means to buy CRT, but it's up to you, and that's the beauty of the blockchain. If you want to do it on a decentralized exchange somewhere else, be our guest, you know. So if you want to transact or swap it, it's really up to the player or the owner or the holder of the CRT token. So it's not really possible for us to control it, and we won't pursue control. And the other question was about staking, I think.
Yeah, yeah. To answer that question, yeah.
Yeah, so there will be staking within our game, and our team wrote an excellent article about it, so we can share it later on.
Yep.
But staking outside of Cryptopia, well, that's again up to other parties. So if you go to DeFi sites or even exchanges like Binance or well, let's say Binance, you can stake. But it's up to them if they like to stake our token. So we won't actively pursue or facilitate external staking of our token.
All right, great. Thank
So
you
I
very
hope
much
this.
for answering that, Sangho.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Here's a simple question for you. Given the success of Cryptopia in Asia, do you have plans to go here in the Philippines?
Yes, if my schedule allows it, I definitely want to visit the Philippines. Well, also a part of our team is located in the Philippines, so if I can't make it in person, part of our team most likely will. And yes, we really have our focus on the Philippines, but also on the other countries in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, Indonesia.
Yep. Thank you very much for
And
that.
I've never been in the Philippines, and I'm really a foodie, so I really look forward to go there and sample some food.
Wow.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Guys, we are now opening the floor for questions. So you can raise your hand if you have a question, or if you are too shy to go on stage, you could go ahead and write down your questions on our questions channel inside our server, and one of the mods will ping me with the best questions, okay? And so right now, we have Rich Me raising their hand right now. I'll be putting you on stage. Rich Me 998. All right, so I'm inviting you on stage right now. So we get to hear your voice. Come on down. Here we go. I've sent the invite. Okay. You were raising your hand a few minutes ago? No? Not anymore? Okay. All right. All right. So who's raising their hands? Angelo. All right, Angelo. Let's invite you to the stage. Thank you very much. Welcome. What is your question for our chief?
Hello, good morning, Philippines, and good evening. I just want to ask, in future, do you have plans on getting some influencer or hiring some content creator on social medias? So this game will be known in other country or most likely in the Philippines because some Filipinos always looking for some content creators or influencers, just like that. Do you have some plans on getting some of it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Angelo. Thank you very much for that. Actually, we are in talks with content creators right now as far as marketing our game. Since our game is not yet fully launched or it's not live, so we can't ask content creators to stream it as of this time, but we are talking to content creators, YouTubers, influencers in the NFT space to promote our game. So as of right now, yeah, we're doing that, but we are still making sure that the people that we're connecting to are the right fit, because there's a lot of people right now in the NFT space that are just that are associated with scams, and we don't want to be like that. So we just want to make sure that it's the right fit first, and then after that, once the game is live, reach out to content creators and ask them to play the game while streaming. So yeah, we do have plans.
And last questions about the timeline of the games and what the in what timeline do you have to launch in the game, or how many months or days?
Yeah, that's a good question, Angelo. And we recently shared an article about that, in which we explained that we cannot really commit to dates because of the blockchain technology, which is pretty experimental. We plan to have, however, to have our open beta in the third quarter of this year. And from there, we have to see how things work, what the community also wants to see of our game. And depending on that, we can create further timelines. But it's not set in stone, but we think we will make it in the third quarter of this year to start the open beta. And then you can play the game, and we slowly will develop all the game functionalities and add it to the open beta until the point where we have a full running game on the testnet. And once that is stable, and once the community is also happy with it, because you, the players, the community needs to be happy with what we built, right? Otherwise, you're not going to play it. So we really need to listen to you. And only then we will say, okay, now it's ready. And now we'll start a phased migration to the mainnet. I hope this answers your question.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you for your questions, Angelo.
All right, thank you very much, Angelo, for stepping up on stage to go ahead and provide your questions. All right, so another question from our questionnaire that we sent out. Can you name some examples of monetizations that do not rely purely on expected returns? For example, are there any monetization options that appeal strictly to gamers that would consider it like a payment for a game or a microtransaction rather than an investment for profit?
Okay, that's a good question. And well, first of all, this game is a play to earn or play and earn game. So the whole gameplay is geared towards earning. So for instance, if you have a ship, a starter ship, you can upgrade this ship because then you can get faster to certain locations, or you can carry more items and resources. That in itself could be viewed as a payment for a game, but you could also argue this is also an investment because you expect to have an edge, so you can earn better or earn more. So I think it's a bit difficult to answer this one because everything somehow is related to an expected return. But we also have items that are really cut off expected returns, and those are like cosmetic items, like NFTs with which you can decorate your house, or your avatar can have like a certain style of clothing and stuff like that. But then again, you can also buy those cosmetics and of course trade them later on in the game. So it depends on your point of view, what you see as an expected return. I believe, I'm not sure if the question asker is here, but I understand your question. And yes, we have monetization apart from investors, like cosmetics, as I explained. But we also have a lot of gray area stuff, like a faster ship or an upgrade of your ship. And that is not really like a hard investment, like investing in a title deed, so a piece of land. But these investments, as I told, will in the end contribute to a better return. So it's up to the player, of course, if they expect it or if they just want it because they like the game and want to advance in the game. And then there's a completely cut off monetization or revenue stream that is cut off of the player. And that is that we can allow third parties like brands or other games or other partners to introduce their name or exposure via quests. So think about, well, it's a stupid example, but like Coca-Cola wants to have brand recognition in our game, they can decide to work together with us, of course, paid, and they can have their own quest line or part of a quest, stuff like that. So there are many options to have monetization that is cut off from expected returns. So I hope this answers the question.
All right, great. Thank you very much. We've been really learning a lot, and shout out to Peters. He's our main man from. He did a YouTube video on us, so thank you very much. Shout out to Peters. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. All right, so we have Zima. There is a question here. Let's go ahead and invite that person to speak. Okay, here we go. Inviting. There you go. Hi, Zima. Welcome to stage. Yeah, what's your question?
Actually, the one who asked the previous question. I do like the answer. I just want to clarify a bit on the thoughts behind the question. How do I phrase it? Like when you have a game, especially a play to earn or a play and earn game, you often see that because of the expected returns, players come in and they invest in the game, which initially grows the economy of the game because the game is at that point in the growth phase. So every day, more and more players start to join, and those incoming new players, they will have to buy into the game, which basically pays for the people that have come before them. And that all goes fine, and everyone makes a profit at that point until it stops growing. Because once it stops growing, then the amount of income that comes in starts to slow down, which means the ones that have bought at the peak, basically, they will be getting screwed. So to prevent that, you will also need to have some kind of burn mechanisms and incentivizations to draw in players that enjoy the game, like normal free-to-play games, that don't expect to see a profit, but that actually just play the game for gameplay. Cosmetics is indeed a good example, but that's basically what I meant to say. Like in the bubble phase, it's really easy, but what are the plans for afterwards?
Okay. Thank you, Sima, for clarifying, because now I understand your question better. Yes, I fully agree with you, and that's also what I run into all the times, also talking to people or at conferences where I was in Paris and Lisbon. That's not fair, and that's also not a game. So I think the crux of this question, or the crux of the solution, is of course that you have to have gameplay, and in order to have gameplay, you need players that are attracted to your game. And I believe that Cryptopia really has a unique mechanism to ensure that there are also players not only going in to buy your bag or holding your bag, but also to actually play and contribute and add value to the game. And that's why we allow people to play our game without investing. So that's for one. So also without investing into an expensive NFT, you can play and start earning tokens. Of course, the rate at which you earn tokens is not the same as the rate at which you earn tokens when you invest in an NFT, because that would be unfair, of course. But we allow you to slowly you dip your toes into the water, and while doing that, add to the gameplay of the people who are invested. So for instance, with the labor, let's say you buy a piece of land with a gold mine on it, and you want to extract the gold, and then you have to buy a blueprint, and on that blueprint, it's specified what exactly you need to build that gold mine. So of course you need resources like steel and you name it. But there's also one thing else, and that's unique. You need labor from other people, and other players need to go to your construction site and offer their labor, and in return for that, they get rewarded with a certain amount of tokens. So the free player can go there and receive, by offering their labor, earn tokens. And there are many quests around it, which also reward tokens, and there's a chance to win NFTs, and also the more exclusive NFTs. So there are many mechanisms in place for people to actually play the game without even thinking about investing.
Okay. Great. I ask more questions that are unrelated to this topic.
I'm sorry, your connection breaks or my connection break, but I could not hear you.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the answer. It's a good answer. Is it okay if I ask another question?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
it's up to Laurie.
Okay. So this game it has four factions. I really like how they each have their leader and how they have banter in the game and such. I think it adds a lot of value. I really like it.
Yeah.
But what if one faction gets like really large, like maybe it gets like 50% of all the players or something like that? Like, what are the systems in place to balance that?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. You want to answer it, Laurie?
Yeah, let me go ahead and take that one, Chief. So basically, so once you get into Cryptopia, you'll be able to see the map, right? And in that map, you'll be able to see the percentage of what faction is ruling. So, for example, industrial. Let's say, for example, go industrial is the ruling faction right now. So if you choose, and we don't have the specific threshold yet, what percentage that is, but what we're planning on doing is we're planning on doing a diminishing return effect. So let's say for example you want to join industrial because the concept is the more factions, the more people that you have in a certain faction, the stronger that you are, right? Because industrial affects the climate, and the worse the climate is, the worse, the better it is for industrials. But it at a certain threshold, if you still join the industrial faction, there will be diminishing returns for you. So that's how we're planning on doing it, but it's not really fleshed out yet. But that's one of the ways that we plan to balance things out if a certain faction gets super strong.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, is that answer cool with you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm really excited to see how it will turn out, but I do understand that you may not have completely everything fleshed out yet.
Absolutely. Don't worry. Once the game is, as we grow, we'll provide more information to you guys and explain how the game mechanics work. You can also go to our Reddit account where we usually explain how we implement things in Cryptopia. So thank you very much, Zima, for joining us on stage right now. Thank you very much for supporting Cryptopia. All right. So we have a question in chat, Chief. It's a very quick one. How much game
Sure.
time must you spend to make earnings?
Well, that's actually a very good question, but also for this we did not really have it fleshed out yet, and that's also why we need to open beta and why we need you, the community, because once well, of course we have an idea, and once we are going to connect all the game loops and all the game flows, we will have, as my example, to become level 5 in 3 days. Well, all these things we will sort of, write down and try to connect to each other, and then see where is the balance. But the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and the eating will be when we allow you to play the open demo, and well, then we will for sure know the answer. But for now, I can't give you any answer.
Okay.
But what I do know, the answer I can give you, of course, it's not really in numbers, but your time will be rewarded. So, and that's the beauty of blockchain gaming. So you are able now to invest your time and get rewarded for your time in a way that you can also have the power to differentiate. So you can decide what to do with the rewards you get. You can invest in the game, you can sell it to another one, you can hold it.
Or you can
Up to
be a
you.
pirate, and loot other players.
Yeah. Also, yes.
So there's a lot of gameplay aspects that incentivizes you to play either a tycoon or an adventurer, whether you want to be a bounty hunter or whether you want to be a pirate. There's a lot of ways for you to earn that, we can guarantee. Just to answer a few questions in chat right now. Yes, the game will be in multiple platforms via an app, basically through Mac, Windows, Linux. The AMA, we're also planning on doing an app, but that's way, way, way in the future because we want to make sure that everything is stable first using the app on your computer. So we'll go mobile once the game launches first, and then after that, the AMA is recorded. So we'll post it on our socials and also post it on YouTube. So for your convenience, if you want to rewatch it, we'll also send you a recap via Reddit. So if you want to take a look at a written version of what we just discussed, you can go ahead and do that. And shout out to Angelo who has a question. Chief, this one's for you. How do we sustain the game? And what is the burning mechanism of the game, so to speak? Is this question.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, well, we do not really have a burning mechanism that you may know from other games that is really, really burnt. But we do have a mechanism, and well, in game economics you have the tap, so that's providing the rewards, and you have the sink, so where the rewards go. And in our case, the tap will be it's the CRT. The tokens are 40% of all the tokens are locked in the game, so that's a tap. So you can play and unlock them and get them as a reward. And the sink will be, in our case, a part of the transactions are going to the treasury, as I explained in my at the beginning of my introduction. So a small part of all the transactions are taxed, and the tax is going to go back in the game. But the real burning mechanism we don't have, and we also don't really need it because we have a fixed amount of tokens. So the supply is limited, so it's just fixed. And in other games where the supply is not fixed and where new tokens come into the game, you of course need a burning rate or at least a mechanism to balance it. We believe that we don't need one, and the ones we have, like a taxation or we also have public services where you pay a fee if you use these and stuff like that. We believe that will be sufficient enough. Also, we have the staking, so we encourage people to stake a part of the tokens in order to get voting power, of course. So we have sufficient means or means for reducing or at least temporarily reducing the supply or control or maintain the supply.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Is that an answer to your question, Angela?
I think that should be good. Does anyone here want to come up on stage?
He's chatting, right?
Questions? All right, great. So, yeah, thank you very much, Chief. Does any one of you guys here on stage want to go on stage and ask a question? We highly encourage you to go ahead and do so. Oh, there you go. There's one. We got Zimma again. Yeah, hi. Zimma, thank you very much for being on stage again. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me. I saw recently in the chat a leak about bauxite. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but it's basically the ore that people refine it into aluminium, and that takes a lot of energy. That makes me wonder about how the energy is working as well, because life, of course, energy, maybe you use it or to lose it because it's really hard to export it. If you put a vast amount of storage of the energy, but if you want to sell your energy to
Zimma, I think the audio is not that very good. Can you quickly repeat your question? I'm really sorry.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry for the quality of my mic. So which part did you get of it?
The entire thing, actually. It wasn't clear.
Okay, let's try again, and if it doesn't work, I'll just type it. Recently in the chat, I saw a leak about bauxite, which is the ore that refines into aluminium. And that made me question about the economics of energy or electricity, because in real life, electricity, you cannot really export it to other countries easily because that needs a lot of infrastructure, and if you want to transfer it over a large distance, you will lose a lot of it. So that made me wonder, because in real life, Iceland actually has a surplus of energy because of their easy access to geothermal power. And the way they export this excess energy is by exporting a product that uses a lot of electricity, like aluminium. So that made me wonder about how does this game deal with excess energy? Is there like similar mechanics as in real life, or can you just like sell energy and it just magically appears on the other side of the map, for example?
Very good question, Zima. I think it is the latter. So you supply it, and you know, because you have some real world examples, and in a way we really have some real world things going on in our game, but we're also a game. So like for instance, you can operate a building without energy, only the output will be lower, and once you are connected to the grid, your output will increase. So you have to think more along these lines about energy than really compare to the real world examples you just gave. But having said that, I think it's still pretty cool to work out some mechanics, like you say, about excess or surpluses of energy. How to deal with that? Is it are you allowed to have it? Are you allowed to run a surplus? And what can you do with it? So yeah, good question. I can't give you really the answer, but it gets me thinking about other options. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much for your insight, Zima. Thank you very much for your being on stage again. And so, with that being said, that wraps it up for this AMA. I hope you guys learned a lot about our game. The Industrial Factions contest has come to a close. After the AMA, I will be announcing the winner. Also, just to give you a quick spoiler alert, Cryptopia will be doing a super grand quiz. So more on that tomorrow. So I'm just giving you a heads up. So watch out. Check our Discord, check our socials to watch out for the mechanics of how that's gonna go. That's really exciting. A lot of prizes in store for you. So I hope all of you guys join. And so with that being said, again, Chief Sangho, thank you very much for allowing us to have you on stage right now and answer our burning questions about our game and talking a little bit about game economy. Thank you very much. We are honored to be in your presence.
Thank you all for spending time here with me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap things up with our co-founder Hans, who will be saying a few words to close the event. Hans, are you available to close out the event? Or if not, we can have Chief. Chief, can you go ahead and say a few words so that way we can close out the event with a bang?
I can sing a song for you, but well, let's not do that. No, I'm really happy to see all the people here, all the friends we already know from the Discord channel, but also a lot of new people I see in here. I really hope that you understand that our game economy and our gameplay is really unique and addresses a lot of problems that are at the moment with blockchain gaming. So we didn't have it. We didn't talk about the ease of access and stuff like that because we only talked about the economics. But we really addressed three things, and let me just shortly touch upon them. So one thing is that blockchain games are unfair, as Sime explained. Only the first movers can earn, and the rest is screwed. So we solved it by allowing you also to play for free and earn, and have a mechanism that the free players and the investors need each other and add value via several loops. So that's one. Second one is it's very difficult to start a blockchain game because you need to have crypto. So you need to buy crypto, then you probably need to buy a different gas token, you need to go to another blockchain, you need to rabbit, stuff like that. It's really, really complicated. Our game only requires you to sign up, like getting an email address, so with a username, a PIN, and a couple of words you need to remember, and that's it. And then you can play. You don't need MetaMask, you don't need to sign transactions outside of the game. Everything is in the game. And the third part is our game is really, really 100% on the blockchain, and that means that it is not with servers, so we can't be taken down, we can't be DDoSed, and we are ready for a really decentralized organization where the players really have a say in the direction of the game. So I really hope you understand these 3 points. If you don't, please ask us in the Discord, send us an email or a tweet, and I'm more than happy to explain it in more detail or in another way to you, so you understand. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope to talk to you soon in another AMA or in our Discord channel. And with that, I say to you, have a good evening or a good afternoon or a good day, depending on where you are. And until the next time, thank you.
All right, well said. Thank you very much. Again, everyone, the AMA is recorded, so if you want to listen in on a different day, it will be uploaded on our socials and on YouTube. We'll also send you a recap on Reddit, so that way you can read it in written form. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you very much for joining our AMA. See you in Cryptopia. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Usually we would have music right now, but let me just go ahead and do some dance.
Do some singing.
Yeah, we can't go ahead and do music since Facebook will cut out the live feed. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Jan, jan, jan.
Bye bye.
Jan, 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 jan. Boom. Jan, 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 jan. Boom. Jan, jan, jan. Jan, 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 jan. Bye, guys. See you, everyone, in Discord. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.
Find the music, too.
Bye-bye.
You want music.
Thank you, everyone. All right, bye. Thank you, Doxio. Thank you, Peters. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys. See you on the next one. Mm-hmm.